podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
No breaks, no fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
Welcome along, I'm Ian Brennan, and this week's show will bring you everything you ever needed to know about the British Speedway Premiership. This week saw the Premiership's clubs, along with key figures from British Speedway and Eurosport, meet the media at the National Speedway Stadium. And in this episode, we're giving you the chance to listen to everything from the press conference, plus a few exclusive interviews just for this podcast too. Hear more about Eurosport's plans for the season ahead, including the first date you need for your diary, the thoughts of Chris Louis and Damian Bates representing British Speedway Promoters Limited, and from the riders, team managers and rising stars from across British Speedway's Premiership. Hear them all in their own words here on No Breaks, No Fear.
No breaks, no fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
So it's very much a Premiership special this week. I mean, there's going to be one or two other bits in there later on, but largely about the Premiership because it's been the launch of British Speedway's Premiership season at the National Speedway Stadium this week. And we're bringing you some exclusive interviews in this podcast. And they're with the riders including Chris Harris, Kyle Howarth, Brady Kurtz and Jack Thomas, and managers Peter Adams and Ritchie Hawkins. You will only hear those interviews on this podcast. And then there was discussion panels in front of the rest of the assembled media. And we're going to bring you the audio from those discussions as well, so you can just hear everything for yourself and make up your own mind and have all your questions answered straight out of the mouths of those involved. And it starts off with a discussion panel which was held between British Speedway Promoters Limited and Eurosport. And on that panel were Chris Louis and Damian Bates, who of course is the British Speedway Vice Chairman. And they were joined from Eurosport by Will Brookes, who's a senior producer at Eurosport on the Speedway coverage and was there to explain a little more about what's going to be in store for 2022. He's in conversation with Nigel Pearson and they start by talking about their enthusiasm for the upcoming season.
Yeah, really excited. Obviously, there was a fantastic end to last season, you know, really built the excitement through the playoffs and the grand final. You know, it's great for us to get the sport from Sky, bring it back to Eurosport, and, you know, really looking forward to the next season going again.
Yeah, absolutely. And the response within your offices has been positive after the first season. Fantastic final between Peterborough and Bellevue. So everybody at Eurosport clearly loves British Speedway. Yeah,
I'd say, you know, really exciting final between the Aces and the Panthers. You know, obviously got the bug for the sport back in 13-15. As I say, really excited to have brought it to the channel. And yeah, looking forward to it getting going again. We should mention as well, Steve Saint, who is the Executive Director of Eurosport's British coverage, is here today, and he's the guy that's been doing a lot of filming with you. So thanks for all your cooperation for that today as well. 18 OBs, so 18 shows, and very popular with the general public. Yeah, indeed. You know, as I say, you know, went down really well last year. Looking to add to the coverage this year, so we brought in the onboards for the grand final last year, looking at rolling out those onboards across the whole season for 2022, bringing in some touchscreen analysis as well, so we can sort of delve into that side of things, get really into the analytical side of the racing. And also new for this season, we're going to have continuous coverage on Discovery Plus, so no ad breaks on the Discovery Plus output, so that will be sort of an extra 25 minutes of coverage at each round.
And just a final thought from yourself, Willie, the fact that the Grand Prix is back as well, which you and I worked on previously, to have it all on one platform now. The sport of Speedway, it's home right now in the UK and around the world is Discovery Plus and Eurosport in the UK. Yeah, great for us to say. It makes us the home of Speedway, and you know, get off to a big start with Croatia on the 30th of this month and then British Speedway starting on the 2nd, so looking forward to kicking off with a bang. Wolverhampton versus Kings Lynn, as I recall, the opening meeting, and it's already been, a lot of people have said to me that it's already been getting lots of airtime in between dart sessions, and the World Snooker's coming up as well, so you're spreading the word about Speedway, aren't you? We are indeed, yes. It's great to see. Welcome back to the sport, Will, for another season. It's good to see you. If you can just pass the mic to Chris. Chris, a member of the board of BSP and of course Ipswich Witches promoter too. looking for a dry Thursday this Thursday.
Yeah, no snow this
After
Thursday.
the snow, the first Ipswich meeting snowed off, for goodness sake. How excited are you to be working with these guys?
It's brilliant. I thought it was a fantastic first year, and to hear the sort of innovations that are coming in for this year as well, particularly with the onboards and the continuous coverage, 20 minutes of extra chat and stuff. It's well worth tuning into. So, and having Discovery have the portfolio growing with the World Championship, and for British Speedway to be sitting alongside that is an honour, really.
Yeah, fantastic. Ipswich missed out on the playoffs last year, injury hit and all the rest of it, but I'm sure between you and Ritchie Hawkins, who's here, and Danny King today, a bit of a determination to go on. But you've brought in a world champion.
Yeah, we needed to make an early statement with the team building. We missed out last year with having the team led. We brought Jason Crump in. It was a gamble. It was a big move. I think it would have paid off, to be honest, if he hadn't have had that heavy fall at Wolverhampton. He just sort of found his feet quite quicker than I thought he would, to be honest, and that really knocked the wind out of his sails. And from then on in, we just couldn't cover his absence. He kept trying to come back at his age. He was as shocked as anybody as how hard it was to recover from. So, as a team, we didn't recover from that, but bringing Jason Doyle for this year, heavy hitting number one. Really looking forward to working with him. He's a straight talker. He doesn't sort of take anything from the team. He won't take anything lying down. If they're not performing, he'll talk to them and tell them what he thinks and what he expects. He's already done that as early as press day, so looking forward to that.
And exciting times for the sport to welcome back Oxford in the Championship, an iconic venue, of course. Hopefully Eastbourne next year, maybe working to the National Development League level, a new track up in Cumbria as well. So there are some positive aspects to talk about in British Speedway. Yeah,
there are. The Workington project, is starting to take shape. Is quite exciting. Having Oxford back, it's in the right place in the country. It's surrounded by chimney pots, lots of fans around there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they get on. I think they've sold out the first 3 meetings, so that's exciting for them. It's great. It's been a tough couple of years. There's been a few clubs on the brink. Birmingham obviously were on the brink, and they've kept their place. So I think the sport's done well through these difficult times. Again this year, for the fans and everybody alike, it's pretty tough out there. But so far, the early meetings, the League Cup and the Championship stuff has been well supported. So it's all looking good.
Yeah, fantastic. Chris, thanks for your time. If you can just hand over to Damian. Damian Bates, Vice Chairman of British Speedway Promoters Limited. You asked me not to ask any awkward questions, but no. This has been well discussed anyway. 6 teams in the Premiership. I think we'd all maybe like to see 7 or 8, but you've made the point that there are 6 solid clubs here and now in the top flight of British Speedway. Tell us your thoughts on that.
It's the clubs that's in the league at the moment. They are pretty solid and the well-run clubs. And there was a couple of rumblings from clubs who maybe wanted to come up, but that didn't come to anywhere where we expected. So we had to go with 6 clubs that we had. And 6 clubs worked last year with a shortened season, but this year you've added the League Cup as well. So there is still variety for fans to enjoy, albeit with the 6 teams. I think we're all in agreement that we'd like 10 clubs in this league, even get up to 8 over the next couple of years or so. But we've had to obviously add some extra fixtures in because just having 2 home, 2 away, it's not a long season, and there's big gaps which nobody likes, fans don't like, we don't like. So that's why we put League Cup in.
And a question that often gets asked about the commercial support of British Speedway. All the clubs are sponsored. TV deal, which I think has got 4 more years for British Speedway right now. What about a title sponsor for the league? Is that something that's ongoing that the board are continuing to look at?
Yeah, we in the COVID year we did have a title sponsor lined up, but obviously COVID
scrap the season.
Scrap that season. Yeah. So, and a lot of people have tightened the belts up, and it's been difficult. We are working on it constantly. So hopefully, I'd like to see if we've got something next year.
If you can just pass back to Chris, because Chris, I know something that you're very big on. You work very closely with Eurosport on behalf of the board. One thing that you're very keen on is attention to detail, presentation of stadiums on Eurosport live broadcasts, and you're heavily into that, aren't you?
Yeah, I think we've got to present the sport maybe better than we have done in the last few seasons, and we've already had site visits at each track, and key areas need to be tidied up, need to be brightened up, and there's a lot to that. There's compliance and things with TV rules, and we've been through everything, and we're hoping that over certainly maybe not initially, but over the early part of the season that we'll see everywhere looking a lot better. And
of course, every track will be featured at some stage. It might be a tricky question off the top of your head, but do you know where we're going after Wolverhampton on the 2nd of May? Can you remember where we are? Or?
Top of my head, I can't. You're right. No difficult questions.
But all 6 tracks, we'll get to them in the early weeks of the season.
All 6 tracks. I think actually, if I do remember rightly, I think the 6 tracks are all visited straight away. So these
first 6
different venues. Yeah.
And the British final back here. Where else could it be, really? I mean, some people would rather have it not here, those that perhaps don't go so well round here, but I mean, this is the National Speedway Stadium, and on British final night, it's a perfect venue, isn't it? Yeah, I was listening to a couple of the riders only this morning when we turned up, and they were standing up here with a view of the track and just discussing how they can come one day with a set-up and score good points, come the next week and they can't do a thing, and people are just riding past them for fun. So you can't hide around here. It is the number 1 racetrack in my opinion in the country. It's the National Speedway Stadium. It should be the home for the big event.
British Speedway Board Director Chris Louis there, rounding off that little section, the discussion panel, which also featured Damian Bates, British Speedway's Vice Chairman, and Jamie Stewart from Eurosport, revealing more about the upcoming TV coverage through the course of this season. Right now, for some of our exclusive interviews on No Brakes, No Fear, because while all this was happening, we had our reporter Lee Wild there, who was seeking out some riders to chat to, and we're going to hear very soon from Jack Thomas, Brady Kurtz and Kyle Howarth. But first, he caught up with Chris Harris, because what a season Bomber had last year. Because when you think a year ago, Peterborough announced their team and people were saying, what? Quite an experienced team, quite a few old hands in the world of Speedway. Well, they certainly showed everybody, didn't they? Because they went on and won the Premiership title. And so Lee spoke with Chris and started by talking about that amazing season last year and what it feels like heading into 2022 as a league champion and Peterborough going in to defend their crown.
Yeah, obviously defending champion is always exciting. You always know you've got a target on your back as well, because everyone wants to beat the champs. So, but we're up for it. We've got a good side again behind us. We've only Biani obviously retiring and Benjamin Baskin coming in, and he's settled in pretty good. So, yeah, we're all the boys are up for it.
It looked on TV especially like you had huge camaraderie in that team, and how crucial is that? Because there's only 2 of you out on a track at a time. How crucial is it that you all work together towards that end goal? Oh yeah, all season we was working in the pitch together. Make sure everyone's need any help, then they're there to help, and if somebody's struggling, there's always someone there to back them up. So, and that's what the key is for success. And we was lucky last year, and Rob, the team manager, the whole setup there was just great. Everyone worked as a unit and worked as one. So, it's no good having one rider go out and score 15 every week and the other 6 aren't. So, you need to be all scoring and enjoying your racing. And we had some fun and a lot of banter on the way. And for a rider like Jordan Palin, having 5 guys with your experience in the pits alongside, what was it like having him learning from you? Must be great to pass on the knowledge. Yeah, he knew he was always there if needed to ask any questions. And he's a good young lad. He listens if he's asked anything. And he's at that age you've got to absorb everything comes in, and some of it will be useful, some won't be. But he's a good young lad, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. And you've got a pretty busy calendar yourself. How much does racing in the Championship as well benefit you? Well, I just like to be busy, so I'd ride every day of the week probably. But it's a busy time. Like I said, I like to be busy and everything, so it doesn't really affect it. It's just a lot of organising, but I'm lucky I've got good people around us, and the wife does all my organising, really make sure I'm in the right places at the right time with flights, if I need flights and ferries, and when I'm abroad and over here, make sure I'm going to the right place and I'm eating right. So it's a lot of organising, but I've got a good woman behind me. And if you'll forgive me, you're one of the more senior riders. How important is it to have that support, to keep you going? It's not as easy as these younger guys, is it? No, definitely not. Especially, when you get a bit older, it's the memory goes a little bit. But now I've got great sponsors behind me this year.
again, and say with the wife and everything behind me helping me and all the family. So it's it's hard, especially how being as busy as I am and with the kids and all. But they come along when they can as well to enjoy it. So it's a lot of organising, like I said, but it's great fun.
And personal goals for this year, looking towards the British final, things like that. Have you set yourself any aims, any targets?
Well, I always want to win the British final. It's been 2010's the last time I last won it, so it's been a long time, and I want to get my fourth. So it's always hard, because especially being at Bellevue every year now, it's a hard track to come to thing where other tracks where people used to struggle, nobody really struggles here, because you can go out and win a race and then win a last. So it is a tough track, but we've got good equipment, so there's no reason why I can't be there battling again.
Chris, thank you very much. Best of luck for 2022.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
So I've got Kyle Howarth now of the Sheffield Tigers. And Kyle, you've been tipped as one of the strongest teams in the league this year. You must be pretty excited by the team that Steady's put together.
Yeah, definitely. It's looking a solid team, and I think the Sheffield promotion and Simon have put a great team together. You brought two new riders, Thomas Muzialak and Craig Cook, who can play a big part this year. Very well experienced in England. On home track and away tracks. And I think you've got a mixture of riders who can ride on big and small tracks, as we've shown straight away, winning at Bellevue and then going to Wolverhampton, a totally different track, and winning at Wolverhampton too. So we're looking good. I think, obviously, as you know, it's a long season. We just need to keep fit and healthy and keep doing our thing.
And one of the biggest signings in the off-season was keeping hold of Jack Calder. Obviously, he's an established star in Poland now. What is it like having him at the spearhead of your team, knowing that he's going to score well pretty much every meeting?
Yeah, it's obviously he's a class number one, isn't he? And obviously going into the Grand Prix, it's made his figure a lot bigger. And you've seen what he did last year for us, and he's already started on fire for us already, hasn't he? I know. So he's a good rider, and he's to have him as a number one who's solid number one, who can get points home and away. And there's no reason why he can't do that again this year for us.
And I think you're one of the more loyal riders in Speedway. You don't tend to move around teams that much. What is it you value about that stability?
Obviously, I'm happy where I'm at, and don't. If I'm happy, I'm not gonna move. If you know the promotion want me back, they want me back, and I'm gonna go back, because Sheffield, they always want to win the league. They always put a good team together. They're a very professional programme, and they run a great club and a successful club. And winning the league with them in 2017, it shows they want success. And going up into the Premiership, they want success, and they put a good team together last year. It just didn't quite happen, as you know. But this year you can see, look what it means to them already. They've put that team together. They've got some really big sponsors. So I want to be part of that.
And what about the reserve Steady's picked? Reserves can be crucial in a meeting, can't they? And you've got two good ones there.
Yeah, Stefan and Connor, they've rode great for us so far, and they're two good lads. And as you know, Speedway, it's not just one with 5 riders, it's one with 7. And reserves do play a crucial part. And looking at our reserves, if we can get them going and keep them firing all season, I'm pretty sure they can do a lot of damage out there.
And what about the off-season? What sort of work does it take in the off-season to get ready for a year like this, when you want to push on for the title? Yeah,
obviously last year coming short always hurts you a little bit, because you put all that work in, and to get to the playoffs, it sucks sometimes, I'm not going to lie. So obviously that extra bit of fire in your belly, you want to go that one more, don't you, and get to the final and win. So obviously when you've seen the team they were putting together and the team they did put together, just looking at it gives you that little bit more fire, because you think that is a good team. And I think the promotion deserve it. They work hard in the off-season. Mark, Damian, Peter Mole, Julie Redding and Simon Stead, they all work hard, and the sponsors they get in, they deserve it, sponsoring the club. And the ones that the most are the fans who support us week in, week out, home and away. So that's who we want. We want a title for them guys. So it means a lot to us, and there's no reason why we can't do it this year with the team we've got.
And looking forward towards the end of this season, what teams do you think will be up there? Are there any that you think are really strong?
I think at the minute they're all looking strong. I don't really. When I look at, I think Bellevue will be always there. Wolverhampton, Kings Lynn, but you can't write Peterborough off, can you? Last year everyone wrote them off, saying they're old, and they've all had it, and they come and won the league. So Speedway's a funny old game. I've learnt that over the years, and you never know. So we're going to look after ourselves. We're going to keep the team, keep level-headed, and keep doing our thing. And we'll take every match as it comes. We've got a big match on Thursday. We look forward to that one, and it's against Bellevue, the local rivals. There's always a great atmosphere against them, and we just need to win that one and move on to the next one, and we'll keep doing that till we get to the semis.
And we'll just quickly look towards the championship as well, because you're a part of a very strong side in the championship, aren't you?
Yeah, obviously Leicester, Stuart Dixon is a very keen manager, and he's very passionate about his job, and he enjoys what he does. He's put a solid team together. As you can see, the results we've had 3 big home wins, and we drew at Leicester the other day after it got rained off. Birmingham when it got rained off. But yeah, he's put a team together what seems to be working, and it's looking an exciting year for them too.
Kyle, thanks very much, and best of luck for 2022.
Cheers, thank you.
Brady Kurtz promoted to captain for 2022. That's a big show of faith from team manager Mark Lemon. Is it something you're relishing?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a role that'll suit me, and I think I can bring a lot to the team. So I think we've got a good bunch of guys. Obviously, our team's maybe not finished, or is it finished? We'll take it as it comes, and we'll get into the season. And if we get some more backup from Mark, then we'll take it as it comes. But no, I think our team's looking solid. We've got a couple of guys from last year, and having Max come back is a big boost for Bellevue. He was here for a lot of years, and I think a few meetings he'll get back into the swing of British Speedway. And I think we've got a stronger team than everyone's expecting.
What sort of captain are you? Are you a shouter, or are you more a lead by example?
No, I'm not too much of a shouter. Well, not yet anyway. We'll see. No, I think I'm hoping for a good season from myself. Last year was below expectation, and the injury at the end just really set the tone for a disappointing British league. But I'm back. Lemo's left the faith with me, and he's expecting some big things from me. So it's on my shoulders to take on the role, and like you said, lead by example, and hopefully lead Bellevue to a win.
How is the injury? Because it was one that took a little bit to come back from. It was muscle. It was also concussion related, sort of, wasn't it? So Is it 100% fully fit?
Most of it was to do with my head. I've had a lot of problems with my head in the past, and it's not something that I'm really willing to risk at any cost. But I took a lot of time off over the winter to make sure that I was 100%, and I'm definitely that. So I'm ready to go.
Very exciting signing at reserve for Bellevue with Norwich Bladorn. What sort of role will you play as a captain in helping him adapt to British Speedway? Because it's not like other countries, is it?
I spent a fair bit of time talking to him during the first match, and he was really quite nervous, which is pretty much expected. It's his first meeting, and he's very unknown to this league and these tracks. But I think he's a rider with a lot of talent. I think he could be. I'm not sure exactly how old he is. 18 would be.
You think he's early late teens, early
17
20s?
Maybe. Yeah, and I think he could be one of the most talented young riders in the world at the moment, and it'll take him a good few weeks, maybe even like 2 months or so to get settled into British League, because it's not like anything else in the world. And but I think once he does get settled in, he will feel comfortable, and hopefully I can help him move towards that, and I think we can expect some good things from him during the year.
Now, your teammate Jake Allen's on a temporary contract. That creates competition within a side. Is that competition that's healthy? Is that going to drive you all on?
You can always look at it that way, but I've known Jake for a long time. We've been friends since we were kids, so it's nice to have him in the side, and I think he's definitely going to put himself in the shop window, whether it is to stay here or even for another team. He's definitely going to want to put in a good performance and show that he should have a place in this league, which I think he should, and hopefully that does drive him, and also Jai and the other guys, that they can all show what they've got, and I think we're going to end up with a good side.
And just finally, not necessarily the way you wanted to start the season with a home loss against Sheffield. You got a meeting at Sheffield this week, and you've got a big bank holiday double header. They're statement meetings. What have you got to do going into those?
If we win on Thursday and we win on Monday, no one will remember last week. I think we've got the side to do it. We may be missing one rider, but we've still got a strong side without it, and I think. Yeah, we can definitely win these meetings. We only have to go there with the right mindset and just get the job done.
So, Jack Thomas, Kings Lynn Stars, it's a big opportunity for you this year. Just how happy were you when you got the call to be the rising star?
It's such a cool call-up, really. Always been a fan of the Stars. From a young age, my uncle sponsored them and we've always gone and watched, and it's always been such a big dream to have the opportunity to ride for my home club. So when I got the phone call off Alex, didn't take a lot of thinking to really give him the answer.
Coming into a team that was a little bit low on confidence last year, but you're quite a bright, bubbly personality, is that something you can inject into the team? Yeah, no, some people say I'm a bit crazy. I have a bit of energy in me all the time, so with Josh and a few of the other boys, we're going to have quite an atmosphere in the pits, I think, which will definitely do us good in the long run. The Rising Star Scheme's a real opportunity for riders such as yourself as it's progressed into the top level of British Speedway. We've seen riders like Jordan Palin and Tom Brennan really benefit from that. Is that something you think you can replicate? Yeah, no, definitely. I was really hoping for the opportunity last year. It didn't come, which probably wasn't a bad thing. Had the year focusing on the Championship League, pushed myself hard. Now I've got the opportunity. I think it's a great thing. Having the Rising Stars spot is going to help bring on us youngsters to no end. And we'll look to the Championship because you're with Oxford, is that right? Yeah, no, Oxford's back again, and it's a great stadium. Jamie Courtney's there, has done a brilliant job, and I think it's big help in British Speedway. It's fantastic, like you said, for British Speedway. How exciting is it for you to get in on the ground floor, so to speak, become a fan favourite early on? Yeah, definitely. I hope my fluorescent orange wheels put in a good show and people will start to come and enjoy supporting us home riders. It's a great team and everyone the same there. Got a great atmosphere with Troy and everyone, so yeah, it's definitely something to look forward to. And I think the first couple of home meetings are sold out, so that's going to be great, having a real home crowd cheering you on. Yeah, no, I think there's been over 2,000 tickets sold, and it's going to be a big turnout, and if people haven't booked, they've definitely got to give it a look because it's well worth it. I think having the atmosphere at the track will help boost us and push us boys to bring in the home wins. Have you set any personal goals for yourself this year? Is there anything you specifically want to achieve? I want to stay in the main body or move up into the main body. I've moved up to number 2 for this season, put my average up last year, and the main aim for me is just to keep pushing my average up and enjoying myself. When it comes to Kings Lynn, if I can score more than my average a meeting, I'll be pleased. So I'm not going to set myself silly goals because, it puts a lot of pressure, but I'm just going to go and enjoy it and have fun. Oh, that sounds brilliant, Jack. Thank you very much. Best of luck for this year. No worries. Thank you ever so much.
Jack Thomas, the rising star for the Kings Lynn Stars, speaking with Lee Wild. And he's also doubling up with Oxford as well, and they have their first home action this week as well. Long awaited, and great to have Oxford back in British Speedway too. More riders to come in the next part of No Brakes, No Fear then. We'll hear from Danny King, Josh Pickering and Sam Masters, and we turn the attention on the team managers as well. Hear from all 6 team managers, and we've got the rising stars yet to come too, as we bring you more reaction and more interviews from the launch of British Speedway's Premiership, all on the way in the next part of No Brakes, No Fear, the official British Speedway podcast.
No Brakes, No Fear, the official British Speedway podcast.
Welcome back. I'm Ian Brennan, and bringing you all the sounds from the media launch of British Speedway's Premiership, which took place this week at the National Speedway Stadium at Bellevue. British Speedway Promoters Limited alongside Eurosport hosting this event, and joined by representatives of all 6 Premiership clubs. Now, a few more riders to bring you because they had a riders panel, the captains all together, and they were interviewed by Abby Stevens, who's going to be fronting the coverage of British Speedway's Premiership on Eurosport once again. In a few moments, we'll hear from Danny King and Sam Masters, but first, she had a conversation with Josh Pickering, the new captain of the Kings Lynn Stars.
And you've got a strong personality, so how will you make sort of put your stamp on this side?
Yeah, look, I'm just going to be myself, and I just encourage the other 6 riders to be themselves also. A one-off rider don't win a match for a team. A team wins a match, so all 7 riders need to be all putting that effort in at the all given time, and as Bomber mentioned before, having Ben Basso at reserve down with Jordan, that helps them, but at the same time with having Jack at reserve as well as Ritchie Hawkins for more than half the season, I believe, with how the fixtures are spread out, that's unbelievable, and to have a rider of his calibre, and he's good enough to go out and beat anyone at any given track. So for us, it's probably a good thing for Jack. He can just go out, do his thing, learn, take in as much knowledge as he can, and the other 6 riders can really, hopefully, take the pressure away from him. I need to do my part. Having Niels in the side for the month is great. Whether Pete comes back or not, that's another question to be had. But again, with the other 5 riders that's there, Richard Lawson, Louis Kerr, Thomas Jorgensen, they've all been there. So there's quite a couple of familiar faces, but there's also new, and I'm looking very forward to get it going on Monday.
You mentioned Niels just there for this first part of the season. As a captain, how will you manage that changing dynamic when you're not sure of that replacement at the moment?
Yeah, well, it's before Niels come into the side when Kilderman was meant to be coming in, I was actually starting the side as number 1, so then when he got injured and Niels was to come into the side, I'm no longer the number 1 rider, which is, it's fine. I'm not worried about what number I am. It's just how it is on the day. But having that sort of upsetting at the top end of the team, it's quite hard. Obviously, a lower point average rider, it's an easier spot to fill because there's more of that calibre, but to have a rider to replace like Niels when the time comes, hopefully with his form that he has done here, and I know he's been practicing quite well in Poland also, so if he was to take off and hit the ground running, it's going to be a lot of big shoes to fill when that time comes, but it would be great if we can have him for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Gosh, thank you so much. Good luck. So, Danny, we were just chatting outside, working out how many seasons that you've had with the Ipswich Witches. We think it's 14, but you went there as a 16-year-old. Having that loyalty to a club, how can that help with what Ritchie was saying earlier about bringing riders that have had a less successful last year, coming in with this renewed sense of vigour?
Yeah, obviously the loyalty goes a long way, and it works both ways as well. They gave me my chance when I was 16, and it's nice that I can still be there now and trying to bring some trophies back to Ipswich. And last year was a tough year. I think on paper we had a good team, but as Chris said earlier, losing Jason early on, and we struggled for the rest of the year to try and cover for him, and we never really recovered. But again, they built a solid team, and I'm really pleased with the way the team shaped up this year. Jason Doyle, obviously, we're going to mention that. He's just fantastic, and to have him at the top leading us out of the way is brilliant. And already, the impact he's had on the rest of the team is great. So I think we're in for a good year.
I was about to add and ask about that impact that he has. We know what he can do on the track, but we also know he's a team player and he's direct in his language. So how does that influence how the rest of the team come together?
Obviously, you hear it a lot, but in this case, what I've witnessed already this year, he's very, very one-on-one with everyone. He'll go around and speak to every rider, whether he knows them or not. He wants to win, and when you've got someone like that who wants to win and is willing to help everyone else in the team, it just sets everything up perfectly.
And we mentioned some of the riders that their averages possibly don't give a true reflection on their ability, and Troy Batchelor and Eric Rees, what can they do if they're firing on all cylinders?
Yeah, I think they're the key riders really. As you mentioned, we are under the points limit, but their averages doesn't really justify how good they are. So as we say, Batch hasn't really had much this year, but we all know what he's capable of, and I firmly believe he's going to get back to that high level. And Eric, well, he started the season in fantastic form, and again, he's going to put in points on his average. So, as I say, I'm really pleased, and as long as this rain goes away, I'm really looking forward to get going now.
Danny, thank you. Let's hear from Sam Masters. So Sam stepping up into the captaincy role with a very familiar looking side. We've mentioned loyalty. We know that Wolves under Pete Adams breeds that consistency. How important is that going into a new season?
Yeah, I've got some big shoes to fill. I don't talk as much as Rory, so I'm not going to try and talk that much. But it's an honour for me to be captain of such a good club. I came to Wolverhampton in 2016 and we won the league that year. So I started off there by winning the league. Then the next year we lost by 1 point. So hopefully we can get back to that. And I think last year we were better than fourth or missing out in the playoffs to get into the final. We pushed Peterborough the whole way throughout the season, and so we are a good enough team because we haven't had many changes, and I think that we can push for the league title.
And the addition of Stevie Rowe, what will he add?
Yeah, I think it's a good move for him. It's just to change his career a little bit, just to make it a bit more exciting for him. It probably puts him on his toes a little bit. I know he's pretty keen, and I know he's always been a really good rider around Wolves. So hopefully he can have a good season at home, and he knows his way around most of the other tracks. So start off with his old track here in Bellevue, and then at Wolves at the night on Monday. So see how he goes.
There's a strong Aussie contingent in the Wolves setup, but it's the partnership that you have with the American Luke Becker that can also prove super powerful for the other teams to be looking at.
Yeah, that's it. Me and Luke, we ride pretty good together. He's the shortest guy in the league, and I'm probably the tallest guy in the league. But no, we ride good together. We spend a lot of time as well at home. And obviously Pete keeps all us riders pretty close together. He has a couple of guys with Dougie living with him, and we're all always together. So the team spirit in Wolves is as good as anyone's, and that brings points as well because you enjoy racing with your mates.
Yeah, and Dougie in great form at the moment as well.
Yeah, that's it. Dougie's started the season really good. He had a good season in Australia as well, and done awesome in the meetings he's done at the start of this year. So hopefully he can keep that going, and a battle for number one would be cool. Just in the team, but we'll win as a team, lose as a team, and we'll enjoy it along the way.
There's the Wolves captain, Sam Masters, speaking with Abby Stevens in front of the assembled media at the National Speedway Stadium. Let's turn our attention to the managers now. We'll hear from all 6 team managers from the Premiership in the next 15-20 minutes or so, but we'll stick with Wolves because Wolves are going to be one of the first teams to be featured on Eurosport's coverage in 2022 when Wolves take on Kings Lynn on May the 2nd. Let's hear from the Wolves team boss, Peter Adams, who's been chatting with our very own Lee Wild.
Yeah, it looks very even to me. I mean, everybody's talking about Sheffield as being the standout team, but it's a long old season. A lot's going to happen.
And Wolves are always typically very home strong. You build a team that's great at Monmore, isn't it? But it's away points that are important in the league.
Yeah, if you win all your home matches and pick up something from all of your away matches, I don't think that would still be enough. You need a couple of 3 wins on the road at least, as well as maintaining your home form. So, traditionally over the years, people talk about Wolverhampton's home track advantage, but I don't particularly think that we've got one of them. We tend to select riders who we know are good at Wolves, and that's different.
You've got 2 very strong reserves in your team this year, 2 very talented British riders as well. How exciting is it to work with those?
Yeah, very. We've built a very strong top 5 as well, with 5 potential heat leaders sitting there. So any deficiencies that might rear up in the reserve positions, we think we've got those covered. But as you say, these are 2 of Britain's brightest talents in the reserve positions, and I'm sure they'll both do very well.
And we've got one of the biggest days in British Speedway coming up. You've got the bank holiday double header against Bellevue. I think you've beat Bellevue the last 6 times out. You'll be looking to make that 8, won't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for a long time, Bellevue held the upper hand over Wolverhampton, but we've had the measure of them in the last 2 or 3 campaigns, and we're looking to extend that ascendancy on Monday, of course. But whatever the results, I'm sure the fans are in for 2 great meetings on 2 very different tracks.
Absolutely, Peter. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Wolves team manager Peter Adams with Lee Wild. Next, let's hear from Ritchie Hawkins, team manager at Ipswich. I think it's fair to say that 2021 didn't really go to plan as far as Ipswich are concerned, but 2022, a solid-looking lineup for the Witches, and you sort of sense that it's going to be a much bigger year this year. Former world champion Jason Doyle, Troy Batchelor, Eric Riss, just a few of the names coming into the lineup for 2022. Let's hear about how that team was put together from Ritchie Hawkins.
Yeah, we obviously, after a disastrous year last year, we needed to have a big rebuild. So, first priority, I guess, was signing Doyley. That was kind of, the first request or the first sort of person we looked at. So obviously we spoke to Doyley for a number of years now and never managed to get it over the line. But yeah, Chris did a great job there. and then looking about, I suppose Ritchie as well. We thought Eric could be available, another guy sort of we'd have liked to sort of have. You know, he's got family links with the club as well. So, yeah, to be in a position to bring him in was another priority signing really. Obviously, you know, we've got sort of Danny's solid skipper. You know, Danny's going to be in the team every year, so you've got a good basis to build from then. And then, looking around really and see who's available and you know, who you think might fit into the team. And I think we've done that well.
You mentioned that Danny's pretty much going to be in the team every year. How important is loyalty like that in Speedway? Because it's not often found, is it? No, it's rare now. And I know over the years, even before I was team manager or whatever, obviously me and Danny have got a close relationship. And when he first dropped into the championship and come to Ipswich, I know Danny could have gone on road for more money, quite, you know, substantially more money at other places. But he wanted to be at Ipswich, so obviously, you know, the place he started his career. And I think it's important what you get that to somebody like Danny and Cameron, who we've got, you know, in our team, that Ipswich is more than just a job to them. It's a club they spent a number of years at. Means a lot to them, and they want to see everything succeed. And also not just on the track, you know, they, you know, sometimes we get a little bit of stick because they're always at the events, them too, and that, but that's because they want to be there and they want to do it for the club. And you know, you can rely on them to do anything you ask them, they'll be there, they'll do anything and to promote the club. And it is more than not just going to racing a job and maybe looking at another club. They want to ride for Ipswich as their priority, so that's important, and it's good to have around in the team, and I think it is something you need. And in the off-season, you made a bit of a change with the reserves, with the rising stars. What was the thinking there?
Yeah, well, obviously Anders wasn't the rising star last year, but he's could do it. It was like eligible to do it. So he had a great year last year. I thought he more than deserved another go this year. You know, I think I can work well with Anders. Wants to be at Ipswich as well. Very keen to be there. So, you know. He was, you know, he deserved his shot, obviously, and we've also we're having a number 8 this year, and to have Damian, very strong number 8, really, probably when you look at it, he's knocking on the door of being in a team. So, you know, there's we've got some good talent there.
And how much would you like to be able to bring a title back for these Ipswich fans? You know, they've waited for a while, haven't they? Is this year going to be your year? Yeah, we're desperate to. That's my sole ambition in Speedway, and has been for a long while now. You know, the first year I got involved at Ipswich would have been 2010. I loved it straight away. Everyone was so nice to me and so good, and over the sort of the following years now, it's big passion for the club and everything involved has really got me. And so with Des, you know, Chris is obviously, him and his family have put so much into the last so many years, and it's such a big club to not have a league title for so long. With our, you know, we have such great backing, sponsors, support. It's time to bring a league title back to everyone, and we'll certainly be doing our best to do that. Well, Richard, best luck for 2022, and thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Team manager of the Ipswich Witches, Ritchie Hawkins, with Lee Wild. Now, over the next 15 minutes or so, you're going to hear from all of the remaining managers in British Speedway's Premiership. We'll hear from Mark Lemon, Alex Brady, Simon Stead, and first, Rob Lyon, of course, who led Dad's Army to the title last year. And they're all in conversation with Nigel Pearson.
Rob Lyon, then. Thanks for joining us, Rob. First of all, very briefly, you've had a long time now to reflect and let it sink in what was achieved last year for Dad's Army. What a name. It was a fantastic achievement, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a special year. I mean, everybody been off for a full year in 2020, and we came back, and given the average age of the team, that was a tremendous achievement. You know, I'd probably sort of compare it to, in football terms, probably Leicester City winning the Premiership, if I'm honest. But yeah, the boys had a great sort of fun, and all that experience, you know, was great. Worked really well.
And it was your first season back as a team manager as well?
Yeah, a couple of years out and came back, and bang, here we go. So yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah, and was there ever any doubt that you'd come back to management, Rob, or was it always going to be on the cards at some stage after leaving Kings Lynn?
Possibly. I mean, I needed a couple of years out, if I'm honest, and Yeah, I got itchy feet and started talking about coming back again the previous year. I think 2019 we spoke about it, but obviously 2020 got written off, and yeah, we went for it, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And your team, just the one change. Ben Basso comes in place of the retired Bjarne Pedersen. You've got Chris Bonner Harris here, one of the most exciting riders that... What's excitable? Exciting. Yeah. Riders that the sport has ever seen on a domestic front in the UK. We'll never forget his 2007 Cardiff win. Has he told you about that?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, the team, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, pretty much the same as last year, really. I mean, like I say, 6 back. It's unusual to get 6 riders back in a winning team, and we were delighted to bring all 6 back. And obviously, Bjarne retired, and we've, as I say, we brought Benjamin Basso in, and he's had a great start, and I'm sure he's got a great career ahead of him. And he's fitted in really well, and the boys are sort of just carried on where they left off, and that's the plan, really. Continue as we were last year.
And it's great to have all 6 team managers here today as the reigning champion in front of your rivals. What's your message to them from Peterborough?
Well, you know,
apart from we're older than your team.
Yeah, we're a lot older than their teams. Yeah. But, hey, we're the champions, and we proved it last year, and we feel we've got a real good chance of retaining that title. So we won't be pushovers, won't be easy. There'll be 6 great teams. I mean, there's 6 good teams.
Premiership looks good, doesn't it?
Does, yeah. To be honest, it looks probably a tad stronger than last year. So it'll be tight, be tough, but we're up for the challenge. So bring it on.
Do you like the other 5 managers, or are there any that you have a particular dislike to?
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, they're okay. They're good guys.
Rob, thanks for joining us. Brilliant. If you can hand the mic over. Simon Stead of the Sheffield Tigers, and, of course, joint Great Britain World Champion manager. Fantastic stuff, Simon. Back at the scene of that wonderful moment with the Great Britain Speedway team last October, which was part of a stunning, sensational finish to the British Speedway season, with Peterborough and Bellevue putting on a great final for us as well. Simon, Sheffield already off to a good start, couple of League Cup wins and not one at home yet.
Yeah, really good start. It's nice to hit the ground running. The team looks great on paper, but ultimately nothing's won on paper, as we saw last season, and I think it's fair to say that Peterborough at the start of last season weren't the most fancied team, and look at the fantastic achievement that they had. That's tribute to the guy sat next to me, who is a fantastic team manager, a fantastic leader of that team. So I know that Sheffield will have their work out. I know it's been mentioned that we're up there with the favourites. It's important to show a level of respect to the other teams and the other team managers, but also have a confidence about us that we can go about our business, and if we do that in the right manner, then we'll be up there challenging.
Yeah, a couple of good results already, but taking nothing for granted. I presume you're still work in progress.
Yeah, that's right. It's been nice to start the season so well, but we need a couple of home fixtures. We did have slip-ups at home last season, something that we wanted to address. I believe we have a better team this year than we did last year. So if we've made the necessary progress that we need to, then we'll be strong both home and away, and that'll stand us in a really good place.
And one thing I'm pleased to see as well is some riders coming back to British Speedway. And you've brought a guy back who won the league in 2019 with Swindon, Tobias Musielak. How exciting is that signing for you?
Unbelievable. I watched him at Wolverhampton on the other Monday, and what a fantastic talent. You know, I always rated him. I saw him at Glasgow a season or 2 back at the GP Challenge, and he's just
that was last year. It was last year.
Just unbelievable. You know,
went through the card.
He went through the card, and I think he was on Brady's bikes. You know, it's just the bike. Yeah, nothing to do with it.
He's not that good a rider. It was just the bike, Brady. Yeah. Right.
You know, so I mean, when Damian, Mark, and myself were speaking about the prospect of bringing him back, I thought it gave us a level of excitement. A fantastic team rider. Not your average pole, I think it's fair to say, and somebody who's super exciting out on track. So yeah, we were really happy to get that one over the line.
Yeah, and Craig Cook, formerly of this club, of course, Bellevue. You've signed Craig Cook, who's achieved quite a bit in his career, and a pretty shrewd signing, and an important part of the team there.
Well, a GP rider, former GP rider no less, former GP rider, British champion, plenty to offer, and on his day still one of the best domestic league riders. So, there were points last season when I looked through his scores, and he went through the card. That's difficult to do for anybody at this level, and he just gives a little bit more strength in depth. The fact that he's not necessarily going to start the season for us as a heat leader takes the pressure off him, and gives us a really good balance.
Just a final thought on the bigger world picture with the Great Britain team. You're going to defend your Speedway of Nations title in Denmark, live on Discovery Plus / Eurosport in the UK. How good is it to have such TV coverage with the World Championship, the Grand Prix, the Speedway of Nations, and the British League as well, all under one banner? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's fantastic. It's perhaps, in all honesty, been a little bit disjointed before, and but to have it all under that same banner is brilliant. The structure of it looks better and easier to understand. Look, ultimately, we're going to get more Speedway on TV, which is what we all want to see. Our position, obviously, as world champions, is an exciting position to be in, one that we've not had the pleasure of before, but going out and defending a championship is equally as difficult as winning one. So we don't expect it to be easy. In fact, we expect it to be very, very difficult. But it's a nice challenge to have, and a nice position to be in, and we'll embrace it and give it our best shot.
Final thought, Simon. There's just been a couple of times this winter where maybe a team's been a rider short here or there, and they could do with somebody. Ever thought of getting the old Kevlars back on and doing some laps here or over at your place?
No, I think that, who wouldn't love to go and have a blast around the National Speedway Stadium or Ollerton on a Thursday night? If I could do what Ty Wolfenden wants to do and perhaps only do the home fixtures, then it might be a different answer. But I'm happy with what I'm doing now. I'm heavily involved in my family business. I've got a young family. I enjoy doing the team management for both Sheffield and the GB work that I do, the academy that we've got going on. There's a lot of time-consuming things going on in my life right now without needing to throw a leg over a bike and doing some laps. So I'm happy with where I am, and I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Blah 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 blah.
No,
once a Speedway rider, always a Speedway rider. Now, come on, how long would you need to get up to speed and beat riders like these round Sheffield? He's gone all shy now, hasn't he? Hey? He's gone all shy. Yeah, I don't want to upset the boys.
I don't know.
Could you still do it, Si?
Yeah, I think I could still do it, but I don't think I'd be as fast as these guys for quite some time.
Good answer. Great answer. Well done. With that, we'll hand over to Alex. Thanks so much indeed, Steady. Brilliant stuff. Alex, great to see you. New to the team management business halfway through last season. All the reports I've read that riders have said, positive impact and have settled in really well. And it's a revamped Kings Lynn side this year with some key signings. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, we knew that we needed to make a lot of changes from last year. Obviously, it wasn't a year anybody wanted. Just pleased to get to the end of it, to be honest, unscathed and rebuild. But yeah, we've made 4 changes from last season, and I think they're all positive as well. Josh and Jack, 2 of them sitting here today. 2 people I really want to bring into Kings Lynn. We've also got Niels Christian Everson in for a month as well, and Ritchie Hawkins, I believe, is the best reserve in this league. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting going.
You think you're going to be busy giving Ritchie a few extra rides here and there?
Yeah, and managing some other riders potentially only doing free rides elsewhere. But yeah, we all know the score from the start is how it is, and if it's a team effort at the end of the day. If one rider's performing, they're coming in. If someone's not, if we can't fix it, then we'll change it.
You had an issue. Peter Killerman got hurt in Poland. You've got Niels Christian Everson back at the start of the season. When will the time come that you'll need to address that issue, Alex?
Once the Premiership Cup is over. We've got some options potentially. I'm in constant contact with Peter Kilderman actually as of the last few days.
Is he still an option, Peter, to come back?
Yeah, his social media post the other day raised a few questions because he said he was fully fit and he's telling me a slightly different story. But yeah, that's still an option potentially.
Speedway riders, you see, you can't trust a word they say.
Telling me.
Nightmare. So, but generally speaking, fantastic moves that you've made, and important for Keith Chapman, the owner, and Dale Allen, the co-promoter, important for everybody at Kings Lynn to bounce back. They can't afford another season like last year, can they really? Absolutely not. We're well supported with the crowds. Ironically, it was one of the best years we've had in terms of crowd levels since Rob's days, really, in 2018 when they went close to win the league. But yeah, it's really important that we have a good year this year. There's no bones about it. We have to be better than last year. And I presume you were a fan on the terraces watching Rob Lyons' Kings Lynn Stars rip up the championship, were you? Yeah, I was, and Steady Racing as well, and Mark too. And yeah, so yeah, I've seen all these guys. It's a bit surreal sometimes sitting around them and talking to them in the pits and things like that. But yeah, it's good fun. I thought you looked a bit starstruck there. I'm Ritchie as well. I just missed it out. So brilliant, Alex. Thanks so much indeed. Good luck for the season ahead. I know you've had postponements as well, so you'll be busy soon enough, I'm sure. Mark Lemon of the Bellevue Aces, our host club here today, and I'm sure British Speedway Premiership Limited very much appreciate the work that Bellevue have done to host today, Mark, along with Eurosport. So thanks ever so much to you and your staff. Much appreciated. How long would it take you to get back on a bike and start winning races against this lot?
A very long time. I have no intention, and I'm not sure if you realise, Nigel, but the sport's quite dangerous. So respect to all these guys out there, but it's their time. I've had my day. It's moved on, So my sort of cognitive diversity has had to sort of evolve, from a rider to a team manager, to a slash sort of promoter, and sort of now running a business club in the world of speedway. So. I really have a lot of respect for all these guys that throw their leg over the bike, and I think they're very, very brave. And good luck with your careers, guys. But I've got to focus on 7 of our own here in Manchester, the Aces. So I'll just concentrate on that for now. Yeah, absolutely. I think if there's a tie at the top of the playoff area, for 4th spot. Say if there's a tie between Ipswich, Bellevue, and Sheffield, I think what we should do is just have a match race between these 3 boys. Get Ritchie, get Mark and Simon back on a bike, and the winner of that race gets into the playoffs, so no pressure there. But Mark, you're so fortunate. I know this is a big venue, a big stadium, a big club to operate, and you're busy now because Adrian Smith has moved on as CEO, so you've taken on that role as well. But what a venue to work from. I mean, this is just magnificent, isn't it? Yeah, it's fantastic, and obviously we welcome Eurosport and all the media here today. Obviously, when I look out my office and I see this fantastic stadium and the pitch that's in the middle, it just feels wonderful. But the racing that this track throws up week in, week out is just phenomenal. Quite a privilege and quite an honour for me to be involved in this club. I've never been a historian of Speedway, but I really understand the iconic resemblance that this club holds. As the longest continuous running speedway track in the world. So it's quite a privilege. But we're in a performance game at the end of the day, so you can have all the privileges and the nice stadiums and stuff, but you've got to have your track and your team perform during the season and try and chase trophies. So there's obviously challenges, and running a business has its challenges, but the focus really is the Aces in the Premiership. Absolutely. Like Simon, though, you have a dual role, if you like, because you are the Australian team manager as well. Based in the UK, does that create any pitfalls, any problems, or do you manage to handle that pretty well? Well, it was quite difficult last year watching Team GB do very successfully well here, the track I promote. So, I had 2 caps there that day. It was just an awesome day, congratulations to GB. They were, obviously the team on the whole weekend. But, it means, a lot of long days, a lot of work, involvement, but, I'm quite passionate about Speedway, so I enjoy it anyway. But I think it's a privilege to be leading my nation in the Speedway front. We've got some great guys that have come through and represented the country, and we've got a bunch of young kids coming through again. Some of them just signed in the UK this year, which I sort of, dare I say, like a father figure to them. They've got someone to call if they've got any hassles, and I like to be that person that's there for them if they need me. I get a real kick out of that and seeing them progressing through the sport. It's we need to look at more sustainable levels in Speedway. We need more numbers to get more involved. We need to create more opportunities. The sport itself has a lot of opportunities, but it enhances a lot of excitement and a lot of great opportunities being involved in the sport. So hopefully there's more of that to come. Yeah, and just finally, big bank holiday for
Bellevue, of course. Before that, you go to Sheffield on Thursday, but here, midday, Wolverhampton, and then down to Wolves on Monday night. So a busy weekend for you.
Yeah, a huge weekend. Obviously, we have the Colts here on the Friday night, on Good Friday. But yeah, Easter Monday, against the Wolves, they're sort of your longest rivals, I'd say. And obviously, I've got to get pretty early to get one over Pete Adams, who's one of the best team managers in the business. But yeah, that's a cracking match. It always throws up some curveballs and some fireworks, and I expect nothing different. But it's our league campaign. We need to throw a big one at Sheffield on Thursday and another one, home and away on the Monday to give us a chance to realistically make that League Cup final.
There's Bellevue's Mark Lemon rounding off that section as we hear from all of British Speedway's Premiership managers. But what about the guys who are going to be lining up in heat number 2? The Rising Stars. We'll hear from them next. And we will also hear from a member of the team who claimed the first bit of silverware in 2022. From the Redcar Bears, we'll hear from Eric Riss. Redcar claiming that first trophy of the year, winning the Tyne Tees Trophy with a fairly convincing win. So that all to come in the final section of No Brakes, No Fear next.
No Brakes, No Fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, or whatever it is that your app suggests that you might do to follow this podcast so that you don't miss any future episodes. You'll be here every single Wednesday, first thing in the morning, with everything you need to know about British Speedway each week. Coming up, we'll hear from Eric Riss. Redcar Bears have won a trophy. Did you know that? They beat Newcastle in the Tyne Tees Trophy to retain that title in the North East. But Eric Riss, no small part of that. He's had a great start to the season, which has got to be exciting news for Ipswich fans. But also for Redcar fans alike, because he really has been putting some serious points away. So Eric Riss on the way soon. First of all, let's hear from the Rising Stars in the Premiership, who were all part of that media launch of British Speedway's Premiership this week at the National Speedway Stadium. So Nigel Pearson had a chat with one from each team, starting off with the reigning champions, Peterborough. Jordan Palin, 17 years old, already has a title to his name, and he spoke with Nigel first about the upcoming 2022 season.
How excited are you to be back, Jordan?
Yeah, definitely. It's great to be back with the same squad here, apart from Ben. So, got a lot of learning to do for myself, really, just nitpick at all the knowledge, what bomber I'm like, the other teammates have, so it'll be good to get back on track and just keep hopefully winning the league.
And what an experience that was to be part of that side last year. You must have been delighted when it was clearly obvious that you could go back for a second season to be a part of it all.
Yeah, it was a bit surreal for me, really. First proper Speedway season for me, and to win the league title with boys I was with, it was unreal, really.
Fantastic. And you're going to be busy because you've got Scunthorpe as well in the Championship?
Yeah, I'm doubling up this year in England and another club in Denmark, so it'll be good to get some meetings overseas and just improve my skills.
Fantastic. Well done, Jordan. Have a great season. We wish you all the very best. Jack Thomas of the Kingsland Stars is with us. Jack, local lad, of course. How much does it mean to you to be riding for the Stars now?
Yeah, quite a lot, in all honesty. Started my career acting, training and learning thanks to Keith, and always wanted to ride for Lynn. When it came to having the choice at the time, I did choose Kent. Thought it was a better option when I first started my career, but now I've got the opportunity to ride local, and which will allow me more time in the workshop and more prep, gym, anything. It'll be a lot more practical for me than having to travel quite a distance.
Absolutely, and great news that Oxford are back in the sport as well.
Yeah, no, having the opportunity from Oxford is another great chance to take. Had a couple of offers and had nearly secured a deal with Birmingham to be back there, but Oxford popped up. Management always got on with Jamie, and then having Jason Crump come in as a team manager, just topped out for the team. And yeah, having the first few laps there the other day, and the track's awesome.
Brilliant. Great news for British Speedway indeed, and we wish you well with the Stars this year as the Rising Star. Jack, thanks so much for coming along today. It's great to see you. Anders Rowe of the Ipswich Witches is with us. Anders, good to see you as well. This Rising Star scheme seems to be working pretty well in the Premiership, doesn't it? I mean, you look at you all here today, young guys who've got opportunities in the Premiership.
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool to see that
we sort of, the young guys get a chance in the top league and riding against some of the best riders in the world. So it's really cool to get that chance. And obviously, like last year, we quite a few of us surprised a lot of people, and yeah, it's really cool.
Fantastic. And yourself, back with Ipswich and learning from the likes of Jason Doyle, Danny King, the skipper who's here today, of course. Troy Batchelor's done a lot of laps in his career, so will he be tapping into their expertise and knowledge?
Yeah, definitely. It's I don't think we can be far behind. I can't remember the name of the club now. Oh, I can't remember. I forget that. But yeah, it's we can't be. I just got to tap into everything and try and improve as much as I can, really. And yeah, it's all the tools are there for me, and I just got to go and have some fun and race my bike.
Yeah, we wish you all the very best, Anders, and I know your dad's with you again today as well, Dal, top man, so good to see him. Connor, a move to Sheffield. Tell us your thoughts. It's a club you know well, so pretty good call to go back there.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's great to be working with Simon, and like everyone said, on paper we're one of the favourites of the team, so we've just got to prove that we are and finish up there.
You made a good start, Connor, haven't you? 2 away wins under your belt so far. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great start. Couldn't really ask for anything better, so looking forward to the home meeting on Thursday and carry that on. Yeah, you got Bellevue on Thursday night, and then you've got, I think, Wolverhampton as your final League Cup tie, but then in May itself, that's when you go into the Premiership. Do you read too much into all the Speedway Star experts, the magazine, the contributors, the journalists, and what everybody else is saying on social media that Sheffield are favourites? Do you read too much into that? No, it's obviously a nice position to be in. Like Kyle said, we've got to go and do our own thing. We've got a team to do it, so we've just got to make it happen. Absolutely. And what do you think you can achieve yourself, Connor, this year? I finished last season really well, and I just want to carry that on. It's my last year as a rising star, so I want to prove that I'm capable of riding in the main body of the team. Okay, well, we wish you well. Connor, thanks for joining us. Joe Thompson has joined us today. Joe's the number 8 for Wolverhampton. So an opportunity for experience, mixing with the team, mixing with the first team, and continuing your Speedway education, if you like. Joe, tell us how you feel about joining Wolves.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good opportunity for myself to just keep learning and progressing, and hopefully I'll get an opportunity to ride in the Premiership. Yeah, and you ride for Leicester, of course, in the Championship, and you've already started with some big points for yourself. You must be happy. Yeah, I've started really well this season. Had a couple of new engines, and I think it's doing me well. Had some of my biggest scores so far, so I'm just looking to keep it going now. Yeah, fantastic. And when you do get an opportunity for Wolverhampton, think you'll be nervous? Think you'll be a bag of nerves? Well, how will you approach it, do you think? No, I don't think I'll be nervous at all, really. I just stay calm and just have fun and ride my bike, really. That's what it's all about. You've been doing some work during the winter as well, haven't you? Tell us about that. Yeah, I worked at Morrison's for a little bit, just to keep myself occupied, really, while there's nothing much to do on the bikes, and yeah, that went well, to be honest. Did you get recognised by any Speedway fans? A few, to be fair. One of the workers actually knew me when we were all applying for it. Said she watched me around Leicester, so it was alright. There you go, Speedway fans go to Morrison's. There are other supermarkets available, by the way. So thanks for your time, Joe. Great to see you today. And Tom Brennan is with us, part of Great Britain's World Champions. Congratulations to that again, Tom. Great job. Had a long time to let that sink in now and build up to another exciting season with Bellevue Aces. Tell us how you feel about it.
As you say, I think we could talk about that all day. I think for Great Britain to win the Speedway Nations is one of the biggest achievements, obviously in a speedway that you can do. So for me to be a part of that, for me to kind of watch how these guys work, to kind of to sort of follow them, to kind of see Woofy and obviously Lambert and Dan, to see how they get themselves prepared for these big meetings was fantastic. So to be part of that, I'll always be grateful, and hopefully we can go do that again. But yeah, as you say, Bellevue have put together a real good team this year. Obviously last year we were kind of one step short, but that's sometimes the way it falls. So we obviously worked as hard as we can, and obviously losing Brady last year was a big shock to the system for all of us. But obviously Mark and everyone had to deal with that, and we all had to as well. But he's back, and he's probably back better than ever, so we can all kind of come together as a team, and obviously having Max here as well, and Charles, and all of the experience we have is fantastic. So hopefully we can go one step more and get the gold this time.
How good is it to have Grand Prix riders in British Speedway like you, Jason Doyle, your Max Frick that you've already mentioned that is with us here today? How good is it to have these guys back in British Speedway for you guys to race against?
Oh, it's great. Obviously back in the day, once upon a time, British Speedway was the place to be. And these guys here today, obviously Eurosport, everything that's happening here today is a great honour to be a part of. And obviously these guys want to make British Speedway great again. And for us to be a part of that, for us to kind of show our face and have this Rising Star scheme is great for all of it. So we, even though we have got the kind of name of Rising Stars on our back, we'll definitely be trying to be the best we can, and there's no reason why not. You just have to have a look out the window and obviously see the track that we can race on every week, and it's a no-brainer why everyone likes coming here.
Tom Brennan then rounding off that little section as we hear from British Speedway's Rising Stars. And what a way to end his 2021 with a gold medal around his home track of the National Speedway Stadium. What's 2022 going to have in store? Well, it all starts on TV. May the 2nd, Wolves versus Kings Lynn, the opening fixture live on Eurosport. Now, one team have already claimed some silverware in British Speedway, and they are the Redcar Bears. Newcastle and Redcar drew 45 all at Brough Park, but it was the Bears who completed the formality of winning the Tyne Tees Trophy with an aggregate win of 105-74. Eric Riss was the star man, though, completing a 5-ride paid maximum, 14+1, in the last race as the visitors took a 4-2 to ensure a share of the spoils on the day. But British Speedway's first silverware heads to Teesside. Let's hear from Eric Riss. He's been speaking after that fixture with Ryan Nassau.
Yeah, very happy. I got a bit lucky in Heat 13. I was in third, and Paul Stark, he had a failure. So I got a bit lucky, but apart from that, I won every race. So yeah, happy with that. We won the trophy, so yeah.
And were you impressed with Newcastle more here than at home? Because when we were at our place, it was more one-sided. They were better this evening.
Yeah, definitely. I expected that. There's a few of their guys. They're specialists around here and really quick around here, where they might struggle elsewhere a bit. But it was expectable that it was going to be a challenge today, and obviously we got a draw, so you could see they were much stronger around here. You got to make the start. I made the start of 1, and I was hoping for Louis to be behind me. That's all you can do, really, because it's such a tight track. Even from the start, you don't really have time to look around and wait for your partner, because it's so tight and close, and if you make one mistake, you could end up being passed. So I made the start, and I was hoping for him to be there, but unfortunately it was Paul Stark in second.
Do these kind of tracks improve you as a rider? Because you haven't been racing Speedway for that long.
Well, I spent 5 seasons at Edinburgh, which is also a really technical track. So I think that's probably why I get on with small tracks. It's not really my favourite. I prefer big and fast tracks, but I still enjoy riding it because, as I said, I rode at Edinburgh for a while, and I've got a track in my backyard which is quite similar to this, even smaller. So yeah, riding here kind of feels like riding at home in the backyard.
Going ahead to Friday now against Birmingham.
Yeah.
Do you expect a tough test? Because we did have a tough test against Plymouth, but most would say Plymouth are stronger than Birmingham.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be as tough as Plymouth. I think it should be a bit easier, but you can't underestimate anyone, and it's not so much about underestimating someone. It's more, you got to get everything right on the day. The track could be a little bit different, and you got to adjust your setup, and you just got to get everything right. But if we perform like we usually do, I think it's going to be easier than Plymouth.
And out of 10, your start of the season, what are you rating it so far?
Probably 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm pretty satisfied so far. I wanted to. Last year it wasn't my best year, so I wanted to come back and score well right from the start, and I'm doing that, so pretty satisfied.
There's Eric Riss speaking with Ryan Nassau after Redcar Bears claim the Tyne Tees Trophy against Newcastle on Sunday. So let's have a look at the week ahead in British Speedway. The Easter bank holiday weekend coming up. There's lots going on. So here's your full look at the scheduled fixtures, and hopefully the weather behaves itself. Starting with Wednesday, April 13th, the Birmingham Brummies take on the Poole Pirates at 7:30 in the Championship. And also the opening fixture for Oxford. Oxford Cheetahs versus the Scunthorpe Scorpions champions. It's a sellout crowd, 7:30 the start time. Thursday then, that's April 14th, Premiership level Speedway, of course, and Ipswich Witches versus the Peterborough Panthers in the Premiership League Cup Southern Group, and in the Northern Group, it's the Sheffield Tigers versus the Bellevue Aces. On Friday, which is Good Friday, Bellevue Colts versus the Plymouth Centurions. That starts at 1 o'clock in the National Development League at the National Speedway Stadium. Then, at 5 o'clock in the Championship, it's Scunthorpe Scorpions versus the Leicester Lions, and at 7:30 on Good Friday, Edinburgh Monarchs versus the Berwick Bandits, the Poole Pirates versus Oxford Cheetahs, Redcart Bears versus Birmingham Brummies, and it's Glasgow Tigers versus Newcastle Diamonds. All of those fixtures start at 7:30, but Glasgow Tigers versus Newcastle Diamonds will be streamed live on the British Speedway Network. The show will start at 7, tapes up at 7:30. Then on Saturday, the return leg for Berwick Bandits versus the Edinburgh Monarchs. That gets underway at 6:30 at Shieldfield Park, because after the Championship fixture, the National Development fixture will happen between the Berwick Bullets and the Armadale Devils. So 2 meetings for the price of 1 on Easter Saturday. Also at Leicester, it's Leicester Lions versus the Poole Pirates. That's a 7 o'clock start time. Sunday, we've got action, the Tunnel Trophy. Kent Royals versus a Thurrock Hammers Select at 12 o'clock. We've also got the Pooltech Challenge at Mildenhall on Sunday. That's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And at Brough Park, it's Newcastle Diamonds versus the Edinburgh Monarchs. A 5:30 p.m. start time in the Championship Knockout Cup first round, first leg. And then Bank Holiday Monday. Well, it's a busy one, especially if you're a Bellevue or a Wolves fan, because they've got a classic Bank Holiday double header. 12 o'clock start time at the National Speedway Stadium. Bellevue Aces versus the Wolverhampton Wolves, and that's in the League Cup Northern. 12 p.m. start time with the return down the M6 and a few other roads as well besides, I imagine. Wolves versus Bellevue, the return at 8 o'clock at Monmore on Monday night. In between time, it's Peterborough Panthers versus the Kings Lynn Stars, getting underway at 5 o'clock. And then on Tuesday, we've got action in the Championship. Plymouth Gladiators versus the Leicester Lions with a 7 o'clock start time. And that pretty much takes you through the Easter bank holiday period. And don't forget to join us here on No Breaks, No Fear next Wednesday. The new episode will be out, reviewing all of that action, or as much as we can cram in anyway. Have a great time, have a happy Easter, enjoy your Speedway wherever you're heading, and we will catch you next week on No Breaks, No Fear, the official British Speedway podcast. I'm Ian Brennan. This podcast is a Nigel Pearson Media Limited production for British Speedway.
No Breaks, No Fear, the official British Speedway podcast.
Sports Social Podcast Network.